tests, but yeah, here with all these wonderful Bollywood dancers, it's a tremendous atmosphere. It's a bit similar when the West Indies come here; they always create an atmosphere as well, and it's really good to see. It's wonderful. It's what cricket's meant to be all about. It's quite nostalgic almost. When every day's cricket was an event. Now a lot of it is so bland. It sort of very rapidly fades from the memory. But days like this remind you what cricket used to be played. Coming out to the middle now. Yeah, you mentioned the England Test side. The business of whether or not Rashid provides opinion on social media. I mean, I come down firmly in the camp that he shouldn't. I think it's very arrogant to think you can play for England but not your title. So that will be very interesting. You say that's due about midday, isn't it?
Around about midday. Dick will be updating listeners on BBC Essex very shortly. It just gives me time to remind you about how this game was set to be for 4 days, but was reduced to 3 at the request of the BCCI. There was concerns about the heat and the tight turnaround in India's schedule. The game was due to finish on Saturday, and the first test is scheduled to begin on Wednesday. It will begin on Wednesday. And at the request of the BCCI, the game was cut to 3 days. It lost its first-class status because India requested if they could use all 18 members of their squad. So it's only 11 allowed to bat or field at any one point, but they can rotate their players on and off using that full 18. And by the same token, Essex have a 13-man squad, and all 13 are available to take part. Like we saw yesterday with Michael Pepper taking the gloves from James Foster after only 1 session. But it's going to be Paul Walter, the left-arm pace bowler, beginning proceedings from the Hayes close end. 2 wickets for 90 runs yesterday from Walter. He bowled 15 overs. He dismissed Murali Vijay and the great man Virat Kohli. Essex have 2 slips in place. Dinesh Karthik will be on strike. He's resuming on 82 not out from 94 deliveries. The tall Hardik Pandya with his collar upturned is at the other end on 33. So here comes Walter. Tall figure in now to bowl the first delivery of the day, and that's cut by Karthik aerially. Could be caught by third man, and is! Wicket from the first ball of the day. Dinesh Karthik has somehow helped a long hop, short and wide outside the off stump, straight to third man, where a very good diving catch was taken. I think it was Matt Quinn down there, running around to his right, diving and taking the catch. Great cheer. Karthik goes for 82.
Well, we've only had 1 ball of the second day, and we've had a wicket straight away. It just goes to show that not all the wickets are taken with the best deliveries. It was a rank long hop from Paul Walter, short outside the off stump, and Dinesh Karthik carved it down backward of square to wide third man, where Matt Quinn took a useful catch. So Essex couldn't have wished for a better start, and conversely, India could not have, or the Indians rather, could not have wished for a worse start, really. They've lost a wicket off the first ball of the day, and so it means that the Indian 11 now are 322 for 7.
I've thrown you a curveball there, Dick, unfortunately.
Yes.
It was Matt Dixon who took the catch.
Oh, it was Matt Dixon, I beg your pardon, never mind.
I did say it was Quinn straight away, but it was a great catch from Dixon. He was stationed at third man. He had to run around about 10 or 15 yards to his right. He's now taking the applause from the crowd because he's fielding right in front of us, down below to our right. But it was an awful delivery, really, from Walter.
It was, really, yes.
Karthik went after it, and it was almost like a lofted drive or an uncontrolled cut shot. And it flew high in the air, and Dixon moved round to his right and took the catch. The new batsman, unbelievably, is Karun Nair. As Walter comes into Pandya, the batsman crossed, and Pandya defends back to Walter. I mean, how's this for toil for Essex? They've got India 7 wickets down, but because of the vagaries of the rules of this match, where India are using 18 players, Karun walked out to bat at number 9. The man has a Test match triple century.
Yes.
Triple century. So Walter in now to Pandya, 2 steps. That's a good delivery from Walter. That has climbed. And Pandya did well to just remove the bat and the gloves, so there was nothing contacting the ball on the way through to Michael Pepper. And Pandya just walks down the pitch and prods it accusingly, as if to say it's down to the surface that the ball bounced in that way. But Karun there that triple century at the final test of England's last tour of India, the back end of 2016 in Chennai, as Walter comes in once more to beat him. Well, this is a good start from Paul Walter. I mean, he's probably got his wicket with his worst delivery of the over. Because Walter...
Well, I should hope he's not going to bowl any worse than that, yeah.
That was a straightish delivery that maybe just moved off the seam and beat Hardik Pandya. This ball that we're using at the moment is only 4 overs and 4 deliveries old. The over rate wasn't the quickest yesterday, as you can imagine, in a game where we're working only on time and not overs. Here comes Walter again. It's wide, really wide, and Pandya's not tempted to play. Pandya, in fact, is batting a good 6 inches out of his crease, coming towards the ball. The surface still has a slightly green tinge from this distance, but we're told that it's actually rather dry and it's the grass that's just holding it all together. So much hot and dry weather that's been around recently. We're expecting that India's battery of spit bowlers will have a good time on it later on. Here comes Walter, full delivery, full toss in fact. Pandya can't take advantage, so he drives the ball back to the bowler. Walter just parries it towards the mid-on fielder rather. And Paul Walter begins this second day with a wicket maiden. Dinesh Karthik, the man to go, he somehow found third man to a rank long hop to go for 82 and India off 122 for 7.
Yes, it's one of those. I mean, he'll now be sitting in the dressing room up there, kicking himself because the first ball of the day, a rank long hop. He's either got to leave it alone altogether or smash it through the offside on the boundary. But he just did everything wrong. So still, it'd be a chastening experience. But at least he had got 82 to his name. So it's going to be Aaron Beard to open the attack from the river end, the River Can, which flows just behind us, only a matter of 20 yards or so behind us, here at the northern end of the ground, more or less right in the middle of the city of Chelmsford.
So Beard, 16 overs yesterday, no wicket for 80 runs. He's in now. Karen Nair's first delivery. Nair leaves alone, and that has nipped back at Karen Nair, the right-hander. And that can't have missed the off stump by a great deal. And you know how much it's nipped back because Michael Pepper, the wicketkeeper, has had to move to his left, to the leg side, as the ball kept moving as it passed the bat.
Yes, I mean, it's a pity we don't have replay facilities up here, but I'm sure if the batsman had known it was going to come back in to him to that extent, he would not have allowed himself the luxury of letting it go by.
3 slips for Beard, point, cover, mid-off. He's in now and he bowls, and that's the shortest delivery that bounces on Nair, who plays from the crease to complete the field. There is a mid-on, a mid-wicket, and a long leg down there in front of a white stand. Next to that is a small blue tent.
You pointed out that it's Michael Pepper keeping wicket. Who kept wicket yesterday? Because I noticed that Foster took 3 catches, was he?
James Foster kept wicket for the first session,
right,
in which he bagged all 3 of his catches. And then Michael Pepper took over for the next 2.
Right.
Beard, blonde-haired, 14 on his back. He's in now and he bowls. That's going to be 4 runs to Nair. Onto the pads. Nair just clipped it to square leg to get off the mark. As he didn't need to run, but he did anyway. And by that point, Aaron Beard was already walking back towards his mark, and Nair ran into Aaron Beard. Cue hasty apologies. Score moves on to 326 for 7.
Yes, it's not the sort of game when we're going to see any aggravation, I'm sure. It's not really that... I was going to say it's not that important. It is to the Indians. It's important to both sides, but it's not that competitive. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Beard once more. He's got a tight white bandage on his left arm. Bowls now outside the off stump, and Nair leaves by lifting the bat high above his head.
No, sorry. Yeah, I mean, when I mentioned the young batsmen the young players who were sort of waiting in the wings, I referred mainly to the batsmen, but the likes of Aaron Beard, yes, he certainly has an opportunity here because, although it's mainly the batting that has been failing consistently for Essex, the bowling could have been a lot tighter as well. So Beard is still in with a very good chance of securing a first team place.
Nair taps the bat twice, then raises it as Beard is in. That's down the leg side. Nair can't make contact. And Michael Pepper, the wicketkeeper, skips across to collect the ball. Am I right in thinking that Aaron Beard was the 15-year-old that was the 12th man when England were here a few years ago, and he ended up doing some subs-fielding duties for England as well as Essex?
Yes, he did. That's right. Yes, well remembered. Yeah, local lad, probably not coincidentally. Yes, I mean he learned his trade for Chelmsford Cricket Club, just round the corner in Chelmer Park.
Final delivery of the over from the fair-haired Beard, and again that's outside the off stump, and Nair is not interested in playing the ball. The end of the second over of the day, we've already had a wicket. Dinesh Karthik went for the very first delivery. Karen Nair has arrived to get off the mark. He has 4, Hardik Pandya 33, yet to add to his overnight score, 326 for 7 India.
A good crowd here, as is invariably the case at Chelmsford. They support their team very, very well indeed. And of course, why wouldn't you, especially on a day like this when the tourists are in town or in the city? It's a beautiful day. And unsurprisingly, on the public side, most of the crowd are clustered under the one part of shade.
Walter to Pandya, forces off the back foot, mid-off, and there's no run. Pandya's a tall, slender figure. Just like yesterday, he's got the collar of his shirt turned upwards, and he's got a white sweatband on his left forearm. He's just practiced a few strokes after that delivery from Walter. He's full-shotting and looking at the mid-wicket boundary. That's the longest part of the ground. Walter's in again and bowls. That's straight to Pandya, and he turns it towards square leg to get his first run of the day. Just a single taken. 327 for 7 India. Yesterday, Essex had Dan Lawrence in the slips for most of the day, but he's not there at the moment. I wonder if he's off the field. I noticed that Nick Brown is at mid-off. It's the number 10 is at mid-off. I think that's Nick Brown.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Aaron Neger's at first slip and Matt Cole's at second.
So I just wonder if Essex are taking advantage of the more than 11 men at their disposal.
Well, Foster's not on the pitch, is he?
Yeah, Foster's one who's not on the pitch. Walter into Nair for the first time. That's outside the off stump, and Nair lets the ball go. Nair, just like Hardik Pandya, is batting outside of his crease to Paul Walter. Walter trudging back to his mark. He runs his right hand through his blonde hair. He walks towards a massive white bed sheet being used as the side screen.
It is.
Yeah, big bet.
Yes, quite.
And Walter now sets off on his journey towards us. Well wide of the off stump, and Karen Nair not interested in playing at all. And then Walter just begins that trudge once more back towards the bed sheet, and behind that is a row of white houses, and then our view beyond that is trees and more rooftops, and a crane, a yellow crane, pointing towards about 11 o'clock. I don't think it's moved in all the time that I've been sitting here over the past 2 days. Paul Walter's almost as tall as that crane.
Yes, he is.
And now he's pumping his arms towards us and Karen now. And once more, that's well wide of the off stump, and they're not interested in playing.
So those on the field for Essex, we can determine at the moment. Pepper keeping wicket, then Nejar at first slip, Coles at second. It looks like Wesley at backward point. In the covers, unfortunately, it's a man without a number on his...
Is that Rishi Patel?
It must be Rishi Patel in that case, because he's the only one that doesn't appear in our player profiles. Then Nick Brown at mid-off, come back to the onside after this delivery.
Walter again, left arm over and bowls straight at Nair, who just turns it into the onside. That's the final delivery of the over. India 327 for 7. After 3 overs of the second day, Hardik Pandya has 34. Karen Nair has 4. If you're just joining us, Dinesh Karthik dismissed from the very first delivery of the day for 82, caught at third man off the bowling of Paul Walter. I thought the mid-on fielder was Tom Wesley. That's where he fielded for most of yesterday. Here he is with bandages on both arms. So I wasn't sure that was Wesley at point.
Right, okay. Well, that last delivery was fielded by Firoza Kushi, who isn't on the scorecard, but it's certainly number 23. I mean, sometimes they're a little bit cavalier with whose shirts they wear, but hopefully not in this match.
Maybe the Essex have sprung a few more players than 13 upon us.
Well, yes.
Beard to start a new over into Pandya. They think about a single as the ball's pushed towards point, but it's not there.
That's 23 again for Rosie Kushi.
I think yesterday on the BBC Sport website, underneath the scorecard, all the players were listed. And there was the entire 18,
oh yes, I noticed that.
the entire 18 of the India squad and 13 members of the Essex squad. So that made 31. And so we were close to 3 teams worth. And I think if Essex have added a couple more, we might have 33 now. Bearded bowls, and Pandya comes forward, takes the defensive stroke high on the bat into the offside, and there's no run.
When you look at matches of sort of 100 or more years ago, particularly on Cricket Archive or other websites available, but probably not identical to Cricket Archive, you can see that sides often not only had various numbers of players, but actually batted them. You know, there are matches like sort of 18 gentlemen of Essex versus 21 of Kent and things like that, and they all batted. Quite remarkable figures sometimes.
Beard from the River End bowls down the leg side. Pandya tucks the ball off his hip. The ball scoots speedily towards long leg, and there's a single taken. 328 for 7 is the score.
There was one game I noticed, I can't remember the precise scores, but Essex in one of these old-fashioned games declared at so many for 13, which sounds so totally bizarre. Which suggests they had at least, 15 playing in the side.
Beard has his shirt untucked as he rubs the ball on his right thigh before he sets off, and now he bowls. And again, that's straighter. It hits Nair on the pad. Nair will think he's missed out there. There's a strangled appeal from the slips, but it's too high and leg sidey as well. We have quite a good view of LBW shouts like that because we're almost dead straight. In fact, Dick sitting to my left, we probably are dead straight.
Well, if the bowler, if he were bowling right arm round the wicket rather than over the wicket, then I'd be right behind the line. Yes, as it is,